Without any further ado, let's welcome in my first guest, Stephen Moore, co-founder of the Committee to Unleash Prosperity, senior fellow with the Heritage Foundation, and Newsmax Finance Insider. Hello, sir.
Hey, Steve, great to be with you. By the way, when Donald Trump gives that speech, what did he say, Monday, I think?
He said it could be Monday.
I hope one thing that he talks about that hasn't gotten nearly enough media attention, something I wrote about last week, which is that Hillary took tens of thousands of dollars from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on the eve of the housing crisis. She has her fingerprints all over this one. She also blocked, when she was in the Senate, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac reforms that might have headed off this crisis in the first place. And why did she head it off? It looks like it was a cash-in, cash-out system.
And when you say she took, was it the foundation or
both her foundation and her campaign?
Wow, took from Fannie. So you say she has a fingerprints.
And she never gave that money back.
All over the housing crisis.
And as you know, what institution required more bailout money than any other? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. $175 billion.
And where's the media? You wrote about it. Where's the questions? All they care about is Donald Trump talking about the judge. That's all they care about.
What is it? If they didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have standards at all.
It's incredible. All right, now you wrote a piece most recently, which was at Newsmax.com today, about how Hillary and Bernie, or Bernie, I guess, or both together, will destroy 10 million jobs in this country.
Right.
How so?
So I have a new book out that just came out last week. And it's about the energy revolution.
And the name of it?
And the name of the book,
yes,
you're going to love this, is called Fueling Freedom. And basically the point of the book is, look, we can create millions and millions of additional jobs if we get the oil and coal and the natural gas going and our nuclear, use everything we've got. And I'm not talking about windmills and solar. Hillary and Barack Obama and Bernie, well, Bernie's less relevant today than he was a week ago, have all said, keep it in the ground, let's go 100% green energy. If you do that, you're going to wipe out our oil and gas industry. But not, you saw what they did with the coal industry, right? They put tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people out of work. But we're talking about an order of magnitude larger devastation. And these people don't care. I mean, you saw what Hillary said, about the coal miners.
And it's come back to bite her.
But, so that was maybe 10, 15,000 workers. We're talking about as many as 10 million.
That is outrageous and incredible. Okay, so what do you make of what happened last night? I mean, it's going to be Trump. It's going to be not one. I watched all the coverage last night. I flipped around that dial. I stayed up till 3 in the morning because I'm a nut. And not one. Not when they're talking about Bernie staying in or Bernie getting out, which would have been a legitimate time for the left to bring this up as a question. Not one person said, and by the way, she's under FBI investigation. Not one person.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It really is. And, I've got to get this off my chest. I think, look, I am not going to ever defend what Donald Trump said about that judge. I mean,
he said it the wrong way. He should have went after LaRosa. He should have went after,
thing. But I just wrote a column, I'll give you, because I feel very strongly about this. Hillary said some pretty dumb things, too. I mean, she said she was going to lay off, she was going to put every coal miner out of business. Now, here's the point. So they both said stupid things. When Hillary says dumb things, did the Democrats run on to CNN and say, she should retract that statement? She doesn't care about the working class people. Why are Republicans doing this? Why is Paul Ryan doing it? Why is my friend Newt Gingrich doing it? Why not change the subject?
Well, why are they doing it?
Because this is why we lose and they win. They're smarter than we are.
David Horowitz used a word that Donald Trump got in trouble for using that starts with a P. He said it on this show yesterday. He called the Republicans that for the very reason you said.
And we are a self-destructive party. We ought to keep our eye on the ball. Like Republicans said, he said a stupid thing and moved on. But you've got these Republicans, and you know why?
They're lining
I'll tell you
up.
why.
Yeah.
Because what they like to say is, he's the racist. Donald Trump's the racist. I'm not a racist. They're playing right, aren't they, Steve? They're playing right into the hands of the liberal media.
Disgusting. And yet today we get a report that Paul Ryan, behind closed doors, talking to Republican Congress people, said, fall in line, support Donald Trump.
Well, look,
it's a mixed message, isn't it?
I love Paul Ryan. He's one of my dearest friends. I just think he was, I hear this stuff, all the time where Republicans are saying, I mean, look, the worst example is Mitt Romney, where he says, what was the term he used when Trump wouldn't, he said that if he would not release his tax returns, it was disqualified. Right. Yeah. Now, I mean, my goodness, why are Republicans saying that about our candidate?
So
this is, we're the stupid party. I hate to to tell you
I
that,
couldn't
Steve.
agree more.
Republicans are the
I
stupid
could
party.
not agree more. They always have been. Let's take a few phone calls for Stephen Moore, ladies and gentlemen. 877 Newsmax, 877-639-7629. We'll do another segment. You come back
I'd
next
love
week
to,
on the
and I
book.
wanna
On the
talk
book.
about- And
the
I
book.
also want to talk about that lousy jobs report, because
talk
that's
about it,
another
yeah.
thing the media doesn't talk about. We had the worst jobs report in 2 years, and they're talking about something that Trump said.
It is incredible. All right, to George from Batavia, Illinois. Hello, George. I'm sorry. First, we go to David from Lexington, South Carolina. Hi, David.
Hi, David.
Hello, guys. How are you doing this evening?
Good.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, there's so much that's just coming unfolded about Hillary and her server and all the ties to the Saudi oil money, and it would behest me to see, and hopefully one day it will come out. I do feel in my heart when Bush first invaded Iraq over this, that there are ties there that have not been exposed yet. I really feel that in my heart.
So can I?
Yeah, go ahead,
comment
Steve.
on
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
This
please.
is exactly what my book is about. Why in the world aren't we producing our own energy? It's that simple. Our book shows we have the capacity within 5 years, not just become energy independent. You and I have talked about
Right.
the energy dominant. We can be the Saudi Arabia. Of
We
the
could
21st century.
provide the
and it's
energy.
not with windmills.
Right,
It's with
right.
producing. We have 500 years worth of coal. We have 300 years worth of oil. 200 years worth. And if we were producing our own energy, sir, then we wouldn't have to worry about the Saudi sheiks and all these others, and we wouldn't have to be financing ISIS.
You've talked to Donald Trump. Had,
He gave a great
yeah.
energy speech. It
He
didn't get
did.
a lot of. Did
He
you
did.
see the media
Yeah,
cover that?
no, yeah,
no,
nothing.
They
Nothing.
didn't cover it at all.
Nothing. Couldn't
But he
care
said we're
less.
going to produce our own energy.
Yes.
We're going to create millions of jobs. We're going to be able to reduce our trade deficit. We're
Are
gonna
you
reduce our
confident
budget
that he's
deficit.
on board with
He's
your
totally
line of
on board
thinking?
with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's meeting with some big executive energy. I'm meeting with Donald Trump with a bunch of energy executives tomorrow to lay out a strategy. Let's stop sending our money to the people who are trying to kill us. I mean, this is so obvious.
Yeah. All right, David, I thank you very much, sir.